World leaders have a lot of power, more than you can ever imagine. Being responsible for everything in their countries is exactly why these presidents have the most meticulous security details in the world. From the Russian president's personnel to the U.S. president's intimidating motorcade, this video will show you why these leaders are untouchable. Are you ready? Number 8. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey. Being the 12th president of Turkey means popularity for Recep Tayyip, especially since Turkey is known for making enemies almost all the time. President Erdogan has been in politics for a while and has advanced from being mayor to president of Turkey. Erdogan's quite mouthy when it comes to talking about others, but we suspect he does that because he knows no one would attempt to attack him. Not with his security detail. He has an impressive 60-man personnel who go with him everywhere. And when he travels to other locations, we are counting at least 100 snipers who always keep an eye on the president and around him to make sure no danger comes close. Apparently, when he is in high danger situations, his detail increased to over 3,000 personnel. His motorcade is always made up of at least 12 luxury vehicles, which carry extremely trained individuals. The president's security team is not afraid of crossing anyone who tries to harm the president. This was what happened when they clashed with the Bosnia border police because they didn't hand over their weapons. Some of their weapons include the Yavuz 16 and the MPT 76. With all the manpower Erdogan's security detail is made of, send them to war and they'll take down a small army. Number 7. Narendra Damodardas Modi, Prime Minister of India. India is extremely large and it can be quite shocking that it is still a third world and struggling country. That doesn't stop the current Prime Minister from spending a whopping $48 million on security every year. The SPG, that's short for Special Protection Group, has only one goal: make sure no fly touches the Prime Minister. The entire objective of the force is to protect the Prime Minister. Modi has more than 3,000 personnel, hundreds of vehicles and helicopters, as well as motorbikes and drones in order to make sure that the Prime Minister is never out of sight. The SPG are always dressed in three-piece black suits and always have two-way encrypted communication devices as well as handguns. Sometimes they wear safari suits to ensure mobility. These men carry assault rifles, high-tech sunglasses, communication devices, bulletproof vests, elbow and knee pads, as well as concealed guns. When he travels within the country, roads are blocked off for hours, and some of these vehicles include customed, heavily armored BMW 760 sedans, Maybach S650, 3 armored BMW 7 Series, 4 armored Range Rovers, and close to 9 BMW X5S. The 760 sedan mostly transports Modi himself across the country. There are also Safari electronic countermeasure cars that counter radio attacks. This man's so protected that you would think he needs to be protected from 1.4 billion people. Number 6. Mamadi Doumbouya, interim military president of Guinea. The previous president of Guinea, Alpha Conde, would have made this list if his security detail were able to stop the coup that took him out of power. Mamadi, who now serves as the military head of the country, was actually groomed by Conde from the post of corporal to become the head of the Special Forces Group. Quite ironic, isn't it? Before he was ousted, Conde reformed the military, and he spent a total of $119 million in 2005, which was about 2.9% of the country's entire GDP. The Special Forces Group was created by Conde to strengthen the army, and, well, this succeeded. Until Mamadi took over, Conde's plan was to create an extremely well-armed group of 100 soldiers. The team members remain loyal to Doumbouya, and they are tasked with his security as well as protecting him against a coup or overthrowing. Again, ironic, isn't it? The group has tactical armor, anti-tank artillery, rocket launchers, and missiles, as well as air defense guns. They often take recon missions, and they do it as fast and deadly as possible. Number 5. Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. Being both the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of one of the biggest kingdoms in the world is definitely a lot, and enough reason for Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud to keep the tightest security around himself. Besides, Saudi Arabia is one of the largest exporters of oil in the world, so it is not a surprise that Mohammed bin Salman doesn't joke with security, especially with rumors that he has a target on his back. Prince Mohammed was the Minister of Defense before he became Crown Prince, and he used this opportunity to take control of other defense groups from the other members of the royal family and brought them together. This giant army is now called the Presidency of state security. Hey, wait before we go on. Did you know the best channel to watch and be subscribed to is our channel? Well, why aren't you subscribed yet? Okay, back to the prince. His security detail has well-trained army personnel and a cybersecurity team which check out threats all day long. In 2019, he spent more than $20 billion on military equipment for the entire army. The security detail of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia have the best skills and equipment. Or they would if the next leader wasn't on the list. Number 4, Xi Jinping, President of China. Xi Jinping, being one of the most heavily guarded presidents of the world, is, well, understandable, especially since China is a world power. The extreme lengths that the country goes through to protect their president is quite sensible. By now, the Central Security Bureau is the agency that is charged with protecting the president, his family, and other high-ranking officials in the country. The Bureau is in charge of the Central Guard Regiment, which is by far one of the deadliest bodyguard units in the world. Xi Jinping's detail consists of a brigade with 3 regiments, and the members in total are over 8,000 people. There are 36 squadrons in the regiments, and each of them have different responsibilities. The artillery involve machine guns, ballistic briefcases which could open into full-body armor shield, and an extremely long motorcade. The president is flanked by the highest ranking of the Central Guard Regiment called the G4. The president's motorcade consists of 50 police cars, a bulletproof Hongji sedan that was used to transport Xi himself, and a government helicopter riding along. Ensuring the safety of this man is strong enough that he never has to look over his shoulders in fear. Number 3, Kim Jong-un, Supreme Leader of North Korea. North Korea is one of the most feared and inaccessible countries in the world, and Kim Jong-un, the head of state, has so many enemies around the world. Maybe his dictatorship is good enough to attract this hatred. Kim rules North Korea with an iron fist, and it might seem that oppositions might come up. Kim Jong-un completely nullified the possibility of this by ruthlessly making use of the military power in the nation. Jong-un's bodyguard detail can be mistaken for an elite military special division. When he's traveling by road, his car is always flanked by men who are dressed in suits who jog alongside the car. Even if he's traveling 600 miles, the runner bodyguards have to keep up with the car, and, according to a source, they are trained to do so. They go through so many tests and are required to be at least the same height as the president. To say no to Kim Jong-un is signing a death contract because of the nature of North Korea. North Korea's military unit tasked with protecting Kim Jong-un numbers up to 100,000 men in total. It is known as the Supreme Guard Unit and is directed by Yoon Jong-rin. This guard unit is always at the beck and call for Kim Jong-un, no matter how much trauma they have to go through. So, shall we all just wait for this ruthless leader to pass then? Number 2, Joe Biden, President of the United States of America. Being the leader of arguably one of the most powerful countries in the world comes with a lot, and in Biden's case, a lot of the country's money. $128 million of it to be exact. Honestly, that's understandable considering that the Secret Service has more than 7,000 elements dedicated to protecting the President of America alone. The Beast takes up a lot of this budget since it is the official car of the president. It has 5 layers of bulletproof glass, 3 layers of armored plate, 8-inch thick doors, a vacuum seal interior in the event of a chemical attack, fully equipped with oxygen, Kevlar tires, and steel rims. The fuel tank is protected against explosions and insulated against fires. It also has a fully functional tear gas and smokescreen system, as well as bags of the president's blood. The motorcade is also enough to make sure that nobody comes close to the president. That doesn't include the snipers, aerial defense systems, undercover Secret Service agents, among others. We cannot fully talk about the U.S. President's motorcade and security detail here, so watch till the end to find a surprise for you. And number 1, Vladimir Putin, President of Russia. Russia might as well be the most hated country in the world right now, but it doesn't stop it from being the most powerful country right now. It's easy to see that Vladimir Putin is one of the most hated men on the planet. Fun fact, Putin used to be a member of the KGB, but became president in 2000, and there's a reason why he's able to stay there. Putin's security detail consists of his bodyguards, who are the Musketeers. These bodyguards are very dangerous and skilled men with the insane stamina and the best psychology skills to put your best criminal psychologist to shame. They carry pistols, made in Russia, and special briefcases that serve as bulletproof shields. There are also teams that are tasked with inspecting routes the president is to pass months before. The accommodation he would be staying should be travel, as well as constantly checking for potential technological hacks. His motorcade is by far one of the most intimidating and has vehicles that carry highly skilled military officials with weapons like anti-tank missiles, grenade launchers, and assault rifles. Snipers are at his beck and call as well. It doesn't seem like this man's going to be taken out by any weapons known to man yet. Good luck trying to attack these presidents when you are anywhere near their insane security details. By the way, did you know that the President of the United States travels with a vehicle that has an inbuilt oxygen chamber? Find out more in the video about the unknown secrets of the U.S. President's travel. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.